Here's the Kefir grains. I don't know if you can see them well. If you get on the other side over here.
It looks soft. Are they kind of soft and rubbery?
They are. They are. And they're just they call it a symbiotic relationship between yeast and bacteria. The yeast converts stuff for the bacteria to eat, and vice versa.
How long does it take for them to grow that size?
All of these grains that you see, I started out, we got online, there were, it was a quarter cup. So, and this started with a cup 2 days ago, down here. You can kind of see where it's kind of grown to. And they do get kind of big. I guess in a week or so, in a month or so, they've grown to that size, but they're multiplying and growing in mass and size.
So you have this paper you have on top of the.
It's not really the right system.
Coffee filters or something?
Yeah, it's just a coffee filter, really just to keep the fruit flies out. So we've got a worm bin over there and feed and we've got a little bit of a fruit fly. We've got it pretty much under control now.
So how long does it usually take? I see you got a couple different kinds here.
Right. Well, this is actually Mexican coconuts from Mexico. I guess in Spanish they just call them coco. This is the Mexican word for coconut. And this is coconut water from Mexican coconuts. And this is fermenting for 2 days. This is the first time we've done this, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure how it's going to come out, but I was just checking one out.
You can tell by the smell?
It kind of has a, what do you smell?
Oh, yeah.
Sour, right?
Kind of like, yeah, almost like yogurt, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know it's working. They've digested the sugars out of here, and...
So that's usually how you tell by the smell?
Right. And it changes color. This started off clear, and then it changes color to this kind of opaque look. And
so the darker stuff is regular sugar.
Right. So after they come out of here, because the sugar content isn't as great in the coconut water, so you're kind of starving them, and to just take these guys out and feed them coconut water, eventually they would just die. So it's coconut water
and
then into a sugar solution, like a 10% sugar solution.
So the darker ones, how much sugar are you usually putting on?
There's a quarter cup, well, almost a half a cup less a tablespoon of cane sugar, of white cane sugar, and then 1 tablespoon of Rapadura sugar, which is unprocessed and has the molasses in it. That's why you get the color. And then I'm experimenting going back and forth with spring water and filtered water. If you just use filtered water that's been charcoal filtered, you've taken all the minerals out, and that's what the grains like also.
Okay.
So that's why I put the baking soda in with the filtered water to kind of help replace it.
Oh, okay.
And then but I don't want to be buying gallons and gallons of
spring water.
So I'm trying to supplement the the filtered water with the minerals from the Rapadura sugar and a couple pinches of baking soda. And I'm actually finding that these are filtered water grains in filtered water. And you can kind of see pretty well in there how big some of them are. And some of them are almost as big as my thumb to very, very, very tiny. These are ones I just kind of rescued out of, really hard to see in there, kind of rescued out of the strainer. And there's just experimenting with what I was rinsing down the sink, thinking that, because when you strain the water, you just pour this water through a strainer, and then you're ending up with something in the strainer. So I would say, well, maybe I'm rinsing down baby Kefirs. And so I captured it, and that looks like what's going on in here. You can almost...
They're starting to come back to life.
They are. They're growing. They're growing. You can kind of see there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
They were way smaller than that. So this I'll be able to go... It's going to take them probably maybe 4 days at least before I've got to change this water, just depending on... You just have to make sure that you still have a decent sugar solution in them for them to keep eating. They'll convert those half a cup of sugar in 6 cups of water. They'll convert that in 2 days to just a very slightly sweet Kefir water that has all the... And when they're doing that, when they're consuming the sugars and the minerals, somehow they're producing the probiotics that's what's good for you.
Neat.
The cultured part of the probiotics. So actually, what I'm starting to find, I've just been doing this for about a month, And some places say, you know, put a tight lid on it. When you put a tight lid on, these things can explode from the build up of the carbon dioxide.
So they don't need the air, or what?
Well, I found out it's an anaerobic process, so it does not need oxygen.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Then I'll read a site, would look like a really comprehensive site with a lot of information. They said put like a loose cloth, cheesecloth. I came up with the paper filters. Because it said they didn't need, it didn't matter. Well, now I've done a little more research and found out that it does matter. And so I stopped at the brewing place today, and I bought those at the co-op, and now I got these airlocks. I'm just going to drill a hole in there, and I got a little grommet, and then I'm going to start to ferment in these larger jars so I can.
So that lets the air out, but doesn't let the air in.
Exactly, lets the carbon dioxide out, but doesn't let the oxygen in, and then I'll see what that does.
So it won't hurt to have oxygen, though, will it?
Well, no, because I've been getting good results with oxygen.
Right.
I think I'll end up with not having to. You can kefir from anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. And I've been going 48 hours, and maybe it'll decrease that time, or I don't know what it'll do. It may grow more grains, or the end product won't be as sweet. You know.
Yeah.
So
I think you got me on the kefir kick now. I have to try to make my own. Thanks.